All right, hi, my name's Sergio Pasquale, and I did my speech on the flat tax. And here's my lovely audience. What's up, guys? All right, so the flat tax. The flat tax is something that I researched, and I thought that it was something all you guys would want to know about. And honestly, this is the quote that first came to me when I researched this topic, and it's one that is very well known, and it's by Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., who once said, "Taxes are the price we pay for civilization." I agree with this statement. Taxes are the price we pay for civilization, but why not pay it the fair way? Well, this country's taxation is based on the idea of the current progressive rate that says the more wealth a person has, the higher the tax percentage will be. Well, meanwhile, the idea of a flat income tax, it's something that it's taxed at a constant rate. There are many people who would never even consider this proposed system, but they're content with the current way. So I think, however, the flat tax creates an incentive for people because the more wealth that is created, even though they have more income, they will be taxed at the same rate. So it's a fair kind of thing. Taxes are not something that is easily avoided and everyone has to pay them. I believe it would be better for the tax revenue to be based on the flat tax instead of the current progressive rate. Now, what is the current progressive rate? Well, the progressive rate forced people not to work harder for more wealth. What does that mean? Well, the federal government is now financed primarily by personal and corporate income taxes. The United States federal income tax is currently based on a progressive tax system. A progressive tax takes a larger amount of income from higher income classes. This means people who have different amount of income pay different taxes at a different rate. For example, someone whose income is about $20,000 a year might be taxed at a rate of 20% and so on down the line. People are thinking, why work harder for more wealth if it's going to be taken away from you? A flat tax could be targeted at income rather than wages, which could be placed a tax burden equally on all earners, including those who earn income primarily from returns on investment. The main reason why people support a flat tax is because of its fairness. Like I said before, it's a fair, flat tax rate. Well, everyone pays the same constant rate no matter how much money a person makes, even though there will be a lower class who will make an extremely low yearly income will not have to pay any federal taxes. No longer will class dictate how much of your money belongs to someone else. No more of that. This system is helpful to all the classes. The rich will be taxed at a lower rate. No high income can be impervious to the flat tax system as it encompasses all equally, rather than slamming the high and middle class. And those who have little money to begin with will not have the burden of taxation responsibility. The benefits of people don't stop with money. Currently, each year, Americans spend over 5 billion hours preparing tax forms. With the flat tax, it would be a single percentage of their income instead of filling all those pages of paperwork, which comply with the current tax code, and it's now more than 7 million pages, which is absolutely ridiculous. It takes forever. To this day, I still remember how vigorously Stephen Forbes, a successful businessman, primarily ran a campaign to establish the flat tax because of its simplicity. This man is a man who's been dealing with complexity since forever in his career, and he realized how simple this tax was, and that's why he's all for it. People have been struggling with income tax for many years. Even the genius Albert Einstein had trouble with it. He said that the hardest thing in the world to understand is the income tax. Even the genius said that. The flat tax's prosperity can be seen in Eastern European countries. I'm from Europe. Every single time I go to Europe, I can honestly, I can see it. I mean, most of these nations have experienced an economic growth of 6% and higher in recent years, and some, particularly the Baltic countries, experienced exceptional GDP growth of around 10% yearly. Lithuania, which levies a flat tax of 24%, previously 27% on its citizens, has experienced amongst the fastest growth in Europe. Other countries like Estonia, Russia, Bulgaria, Slovakia, Macedonia, Ukraine, Iceland, Czech Republic, and many more countries have adopted the flat tax. I mean, all these countries are doing it. These countries have benefited greatly from the flat tax, so why can't the United States receive the same benefits? If America did adopt the flat tax, it would mean faster economic growth for the country. And one way of improving economy is by tax reform. A flat tax would increase work and investment. It would increase incentive for everyone who's in the workforce. They would engage in productive economic behavior, which would boost the economy's long-term growth rate. Even if a flat tax boosted long-term growth by only 0.5%, the income of the average family of four after 10 years would be much as $5,000 higher than it would under the current progressive system. And flat taxation in the United States would introduce instant wealth creation. According to Harvard economist Dale Jorgensen, tax reform would rise in value since the flat tax would increase after the tax stream of income that they generate. Well, the tax reform would also put an end to micromanaging and political favoritism. What does this mean? Well, the flat taxation gets rid of all loopholes, deductions, credits, and exemptions. Politicians will lose all ability to pick winners and losers, reward friends, and punish enemies, and use the tax code to impose their values on the economy. Not only does this end a major source of political corruption, but it is also a pro-growth since companies would no longer squander resources lobbying politicians or making foolish investments just to obtain a favorable tax treatment. I mean, just going back to everything I said, I am most definitely in favor of the flat tax. Why complicate your life when the flat tax is simple and easy? I just don't understand it. The flat tax represents all things that are noble, true, and right. We live in a world where we need money to survive. I mean, that's obvious. A flat tax rate would do so much. It would not take away the amount of money that we're earning opposed to the current taxation in the U.S. And you have to respect the opinion of others, but that doesn't mean you can't have your own. And personally, mine is the flat tax. So I hope I persuaded you guys, gave you insight on something new, and I just thank you for listening to my speech. Thanks.